Do you want to know how to teach empathy to teens? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, and education, all through the lens of the principle self-government. And in this video, we're talking about teens and empathy. So in this video, we're going to talk about maybe why teens don't seem like they have very much empathy, and what we can do to create an environment where teens can learn more empathy. Children are inherently selfish. This doesn't mean that all of them behave selfishly all the time, but they do watch out for themselves. They're acutely aware of their own feelings, progressions, needs, desires, what happened to them, what they wish didn't happen to them, that type of thing. And so it does take a lot of practice to not be selfish and to think about other people. The best environment to teach another person to think about other people is the family environment. If you think of it, the parents are setting the perfect example. The parents are serving all of the children. The husband and wife, if they have a good, healthy marriage, should be serving each other willingly. Everyone is looking out for the group instead of just for themselves. This is a really powerful environment to learn empathy. So of course, the number one thing that teens need in order to learn empathy is an example. Now, amongst their friends, they oftentimes start to develop feelings of unity, and they start to care and understand each other in their peer groups. And so sometimes some empathy can develop there. Some young people come to empathy more easily than others, and that's probably just a personality type, or it could be the type of upbringing that they've had. So another thing that is really beneficial in the teen years is to take care of something or to take care of someone else. Historically, probably the most natural way that teens would learn empathy is by babysitting their younger siblings or watching over them. In fact, in many cultures, that is the job of the teens, is to watch over the younger children while the parents spend their time doing other work to help provide for the food that the family needs and that type of thing. I know that in Western society, that's not always the situation anymore, but it does teach a lot. And I'm wondering actually if we're having such a problem with entitlement and selfishness because we're just not having service as part of our everyday culture. And it is the family that brings that service in, that reminder that we aren't just here for ourselves, we're here as a group, we need to serve that group together. One thing that a family can do is they can have family work time that they do every single day together. So no matter the ages of your family members, you can set aside 30 minutes a day to work as a family. Now, I know some people may think that seems like a little bit much. Maybe you're just going to have a work session on Saturdays or something like that. I remember my mom always had family work that we did on Saturdays. Throughout the week, we did our individual chores each day, but on Saturday mornings, we had multiple hours of family work time that we had to do together. I'm so glad that we did that. We learned how to work together, how to enjoy each other's company, how to talk with each other, how to see what somebody else might need done so that we can all get the job done quicker. We learned to see a job well done. We learned delayed gratification. There were so many lessons from that work, and empathy is one of those. So when you work together on a project and you work toward a goal together, you have to be patient with each other. You have to be understanding with each other. So this leads the teen to learn more empathy. Now, if you are watching over a baby or a puppy or some sort of a pet, that can also be something that teaches empathy. But probably one of the most needed things to do is just to talk about empathy with our teens. Instead of hoping they'll accidentally fall into it because of an environmental shift, which can happen, but it can be a lot more of a bumpy process. How about just deliberately talk about empathy, why we need it, and help your teen understand that they can choose to see things from somebody else's point of view. Another thing that can be very beneficial is reading and watching things that ultimately are centered around the idea of one person sacrificing for someone else or for a greater cause. When people see how inspiring it is to sacrifice for another person or to put yourself on the line in order to protect somebody else, that teaches them the act of service. This brings me to another idea. Family service activities are a really good idea. In the Teaching Self-Government Parenting approach, I talk about creating family activities and making sure that you do those family activities once a week. Well, sometimes for our family's family activities, we would do family service projects. We would go to somebody else's house and help them with their garden, or we might go and take a meal to someone who was sick or who is struggling in some way with their health. We might even just go to cheer somebody up because we recognized somebody could use a pick-me-up. But how are your children going to know why you're doing those things unless you talk about them? So deliberately having conversations about why we need to reach out and help other people is really going to help. It is important that you create empathy and service as part of your family culture. Instruct your children to show kindness and empathy, to serve each other. And if they don't want to do that, then you might need to make sure that your family pulls back from other social engagements or digital things to make sure that you put enough emphasis on that family service. Teaching your children how to engage socially is totally on you as a parent. When your children turn out well socially, they should be able to not only get things done that benefit themselves, but in the meantime, care about all those around them as well. We could talk about many more things related to teen development, and I do have another video that goes into a lot more detail, and that video is called How to Help My Teen Become a Successful Adult. Click on that video next. I'll see you there.